Boom! We're back, and we have a new role at my favorite gym to visit, the Cellar. And my opponent's name is Liam, but I have no idea what rank he is because this was no-gi. So pay attention to the whole role, and then after the video, comment below what rank you think he was. Every time I'm wrestling from the stand-up position, I'm always trying to have my head on the inside. If I can frame my head against his chin, it'll make it a lot harder for him to get any shots. It's also an easy way to grab a hold of their arms, and he had to pull guard because of the Russian tie, and I was just about to take his back. Now he decides he wants to go towards butterfly and look to extend me. It's important that I try and pull him out and flatten him to the mat. As soon as I can get his back on the mat, this is going to reduce the options that he has for sweeps. He has to try and work his way back up, but I'm already pushing myself into half guard. What's really helping me hold this position is my right arm. I'm using it as an underhook so I can push my chest onto him and then flatten him out. I could have done a better job about pinching my knees together against his hips so he had less space to move, because he's able to use a half butterfly to extend me a little bit and push me back into the butterfly guard. Again, I want to push him flat, but I'm going to hop over his legs at the same time. Since I could keep his back on the mat, he wasn't able to follow me, and I could establish side control pretty quickly, especially once my right arm comes around his neck to flatten him out. Now we can see there's a big space between my body and his stomach, and I'm going to occupy that space by using my knee. I can slide it across his stomach so I can easily take mount, and now I am pinching my knees together immediately, and at the same time I've already used my right hand to go under his arm and capture his armpit. This grip will help me secure his right arm. I'm using my left hand to push his elbow until I can pass it over my head. Once my head is able to get underneath the arm, now I have everything locked up for a nice head and arm choke. I can dismount, gable grip, and apply a little bit of pressure for the tap. So it's a quick submission to start us off, but he's up and ready to go for the next round. However, he lets me grab his wrist, and I quickly can use this to pummel in towards an underhook. Then I'm going to use this underhook to shuck him by so I can get a body lock and bring him down to the ground. By cupping his rib with my left hand, this will stop him from moving away. Then once I can gable grip, it's easy to step in front of him with my right leg, circle him down to the mat, and then I can keep my hands locked. Add a body lock pass to your game, and that'll be an excellent transition from standing all the way to side control. I decided to go a different route, and I unlocked my hands. I bring my left instep in, and I'm putting it over his right leg. I'm trying to pry my leg free so I can pass right into side control. I also have a really deep underhook with my right arm so I can keep him flat as I decide to pass his guard. He does do a nice job bumping me, and he's trying to escape out the back door. However, I use my right hand to catch his armpit, and then I can push back into him, which puts him into a terrible spot. He has a huge opening over his stomach, which is a great spot for my knee to go. If I can push it across while controlling his legs so I don't have to get put into half guard, it'll be an easy mount for me. As we just saw a minute ago, the focus to a good mount is to be pinning their hips together. As my knees press in against his ribs, it'll stop his hips from moving until I can set everything up. I'm going towards the same head and arm choke. I dismount once everything is locked up, and I get another good tap. I've really put a large emphasis on my mount and transitioning to the head and arm choke, so it's good to see that it works at other gyms and I can pull it off on their guys. Now if you're looking for a safe takedown, pay attention to these steps. I have a right underhook, and I'm going to shuck it by as I go for the single. Then I want to pull him towards his left side, but I'm not going to follow him to the mat. I don't want to wind up in any guillotine, so I take the open guard position, and now I can look to pass his guard once I know my neck is safe. Now I basically have mount, but he is going to scoop my leg and put it into quarter guard, but this is completely fine. If you ever watch Andrew Wiltsey's videos, he likes to say that if you go to quarter guard, you stop shrimping. And this generally is the case. A lot of people feel pretty safe in a quarter guard, and they're going to give up position or give up their neck. In this scenario, my opponent gave up his neck as he was trying to move his hips to the side. I've already latched onto the guillotine with one hand, and I use an underhook with my other arm. Now I just have to bring my chest forward, and I can get another easy submission over my opponent. That's 3 submissions for me in a short amount of time, and my question of the day is, what submission are you currently working on? I've really been working on my head and arm choke so I could get better at it from mount, but I want to hear from you guys in the comments, what submission have you been getting better at? And don't forget that if you want to send content to me for the basalts breakdown, follow me on Instagram. If your clips are good, you may even be featured on the channel. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse when I tell people this advice, but flattening your opponent out is going to make you so much better at jiu-jitsu. I pummel my arm in, and then I lead with my shoulder so I can press my shoulder into his chest and bring him down to the mat. Now I can lock my knees in tight, keep him engaged in half guard, and wait to pass his guard. Now to add a little bit of flavor to my passing, I'm actually going for double underhooks. We can see I have both underhooks established, and I'm continuing to crawl my hands up. Now it's important that I bring my insteps in over his legs. I want to continuously shuffle my weight across his hips, and eventually his legs are going to give out and I'm going to pass right into mount. He's trying to use his right hand to push my knees across, but I have his arms way too jacked up that he won't get enough extension. My arms are in his way, and then I can establish a nice and deep mount. The next step for a strong mount is to continuously walk my hands up. I use my fingers to crawl towards his head. This is called the inchworm technique, and it's a great way to beat their lat strength. It doesn't take very much strength out of me with my fingers, but it takes a lot out of him. Now, despite everything looking good and I'm attacking his head, I must have lost focus for a second here. Because as I'm attacking his elbow to look for a third head and arm choke, he actually times it really well and hits a bridge and roll escape to bring me over towards guard. It's too bad that we were at the edge of the mat, so we had to restart right away, but nonetheless, it was a good escape and good timing from him. But I continue to keep my onslaught going by going for a fake knee pick so I can grab his head. I must have been feeling merciful because I didn't apply too much pressure with the choke for the guillotine. Instead, I decided to go for wrist control. My right hand is grabbing his right wrist, and then he's going to try and go for a risky move by bumping me over. But I grab his neck and quickly take his back. I don't generally recommend the fat man roll unless you can secure the choking arm, but it must have been a calculated move for him because we just ran out of time. If you appreciate the video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and feel free to guess his belt rank in the comments. Thanks to all my current viewers and patrons.